to carry on from where we finished off this morning after I did that little discussion with all of you about the bond. Here we are at the end of the day. There's just 2 points I want to make here. I mentioned to you about keeping an eye on these little singles, that first single after you make a breakout. The one that I'm pointing to here on my screen is the one that happened with the opening of London last night. And I think when we finished up this morning, D had already completed. E was underway. It was trading back to test this IB high that we talked about. And look at where F period finished up. There was no interest in going below the IB high once F opened. It carried on up, completed D, got right back up to within 1 tick of that first single from when London opened. Now, when we point things out like this, you're not going to bet the bank on the fact that this is going to happen. I'm just trying to show you areas that I look to where I want to see what happens when we get to that area. It just gives me a place to look on these charts. I mean, we all stare at these charts and we all see letters and volume and prices and time, and what these are just little indications of where you might expect things to happen. Remember I talked about how the bond likes to move in that to 16 being half a point, move to a full point. So here we've got a full point at that 1 tick above where we would expect to see some resistance. And we got exactly what we're looking for. We come right back and we test the IB high. Half a point is 1 tick below the IB high. It carries right down to a full point, 139 from 140. And I've mentioned this before. Part of the reason why I find the IB midpoint something that we look to for a trade is because it basically represents that halfway point on the IB. And if we've come from 140 to 139, give or take these extra ticks, then you would expect on a 50% retracement to be in that 16 area. We get right back to 16 plus 2 ticks. If you add these extra ticks that it went below 39, the extra tick that it went above 40, I think you'll find the midpoint is in this 17, 18 area, and we did get there. So 50% retracement, and then continuation in the same direction. Now, I haven't been here this afternoon, but it would have been possible, knowing some of those things. You could have got a full point, you could have picked up a half, and you could have picked up another half. On one contract, that's a $2,000 afternoon. So that's why I like to trade the bond. Now, just to finish this discussion off, I just want to put briefly the F4 screen up here. And I just want to point out on here why, in my mind at least, would I be expecting or anticipating that we might get back down to that 139 level. If you look, this is where we opened in the morning over the left-hand side of your screen. We did trade up. We have traded back down. We made these, call it two thrusts up to test that top level. But look at where volume stayed. The mode stayed. Right here at 138.30. So we got a price reaction to some news. We got our 50% retracement. And where would we expect it to come back to? Volume. Bill, this 50% retracement is just a phenomenon that we see frequently. It's not an exact, I mean, you can't take and divide exactly and say it's going to be 50%. It's just, as far back as the 1800s, they've been recording on charts where they can see a move followed by a retracement of roughly 50%, and then a continuation in the same direction. Unless something has happened in this time frame, some new news, something that's changed market sentiment, it's just a typical, if you get a move, it gets followed by a retracement. And frequently you'll see that 50% is a number that it returns to. If you're going to get continuation in the same direction that you were moving in, then you can expect it to get back as it did here today. It's given us a move of a point, a little over a point, retraced 50% and continued in the same direction. That's it for me. Charles, please take it away.
Thanks, John. The room really appreciates all of our room members that do make observation, comments, and calls into the room. It's just, it's how we grow. We can make this room pretty powerful. It's really, there's a lot of opportunity in a lot of different areas for all of us right here. Okay, I'm going to hit it really, 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 really fast, and I apologize for that. We'll pick it up. I've got to go back into a room here on the half hour, so we'll knock it out. Do the down and dirty one. Buy it, sell it, where, right? Okay, we got a lower high, lower low. This is the E-mini. Volume is below yesterday. We're not really breaking it down. So based on this, we'll be looking to sell strength. I was talking to Bill and said if we didn't break it through the 10 to 12 area, get short to get back to 1207, 1208. Bill, I hope you got that trade. So that one says lower. Looking at the F2 screen, you know, and these takes on the market just by quick looks at them, and if you don't think about them twice, the trades just work. Jason Henry today was telling me that almost always gets the direction of the market right, and where his trading flubs come from, he gets too impatient. He doesn't let the market come to him, or too tight a stop. And too tight a stops with the E-mini these days is pretty. It's probably a common pratfall for all of us because of the increased volatility. But when we were talking, Bill and I, if we failed to get through 15, hit it, get back to a 7-8 level. And we failed to get through 15, and it was a good trade, and we did get back to the 7-8 level, and that's where we are. And I'm able to make those calls just because we know where volume is, just like JB was showing you on that other chart. Why 7 or 8? Duh, that's where volume is. Duh, that's where volume is. So you do know where this market's going before the fact. This is a P. Value is lower than yesterday. but this one tends to favor to buy weakness to recheck, to retest support. So the time frames are not congruent. We're looking at a trading range. And looking quickly at the F4 screen for Bill's setup. Can't get through 15, looking for a trade. Now this is a pretty aggressive trade, but it's a trade that's there for all of us. If you know what you want to do before the fact, can't get through 15. Now, Bill's not going to know that if it won't get through 15 with 100% assurance, but Bill, being the ex-local that he is not afraid to pull the trigger. So we got good volume here. Pretty wide bars, stops obviously above that one. We come up here, these bars are getting narrower. Now we've got compression, a bar less than 50%. We're at the second standard deviation. We're trying to get through 15. When we break that bar's low right there, take the short and just see what happens. And the market managed to get back to 1208. So this isn't rocket surgeon stuff when you start to put it all together. I know you can feel overwhelmed when you first get started, but like JB says, Bill Thomas says, favors the buyer, favors the seller. Generally true. We think we're dealing with rocket shots and rifle shots right now, and you're really playing horseshoes or throwing hand grenades. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, and this also reinforces tendencies or trends or general observations like higher or lower. I think this market's going lower. Well, why? Well, because the skewing in the distributions. Where's a good place to get short? 1215. Okay, allows them to get stops above this morning's day session high. That's cool. Then I can nail it, and we'll see if we can get back to volume at 0708. It's fearless trading. You're not putting a lot into it. You're not saying, God, I've studied forever, and this trade has to be right, and if it's not right, do like the locals do. This is support, this is resistance. I'm fading it. We'll see what happens, and adopt that attitude. Lower high. Higher high, higher low. Volume is equal, maybe a little bit higher. What's going to drive the markets tomorrow? Announcement from the EU. So this one says maybe buy weakness to test overhead strength. Looking at the F2 screen. It's a B. It's a B. So the time, this one says sell strength to test support. So we have incongruency between the time frames. Okay, I'm going to leave this up. JB will put it out. We had a close at 22. Last rotate up here was at 27.28. So there's one. There's two. Here's three. And there's four. So we've got 28, the buck, 4, 5, or 4, 6, excuse me, then 8 to 12. On the downside, we've got a J period low here at 17. Got the bottom of value at 16, so 16, 17. Got a low of 13, 12, 13. Got a market number down here at 8 that held the other day, 3. And we have the buck to 04. Copy these things down. I'm going to, the room will be open. This won't disappear. Sell. depending on what the E-mini does this afternoon. 27 or better, and buy probably 17 or better, depending again on the E-mini, and we'll pick it up in the morning. Any quick questions? Well, you're welcome, Bill. You know what to do. You're in business to make money trading, and you did it. You're going to do well. I've got to scoot now. I'm going to another room, so you all have great evenings. I'll see you at 0700 hours Central Daylight Time, mañana.
If anybody wants a copy of these screenshots at night when Charles does his wrap up, I keep a list of people that we send them out to every night. And last night was probably the first one I missed in a long time because I mistakenly deleted it. And if Bill Thomas is listening, it'd be great if we could watch the E-mini going into the close here for the last half hour. Anybody wants to get on this list of end of day screenshots, I'm just going to stick my email in the room. And you can send me a note and I'll add you to the list. And if the two fellows are listening that sent me those links last night, thanks very much. I appreciate it. But by the time I got back, it was too late to do anything with it. So those of you that were waiting for last night's screenshot, you'll have to forgive me. I had a senior moment. I hit delete instead of save. First one in, what, a day? Thanks, Bill.